House of Cards, Scott Brown.
House of Cards. Netflix original television series about twisted underworld politics in the United States. It is poisoning the minds of Americans, young and old. I'm not talking about the glorified pursuit of absolute power depicted on the show. I'm not talking about the justification of murder for political or personal gain, no. I'm talking about something far more insidious. Binge watching. You've all heard of it. Thanks to House of Cards, millions of Americans are experimenting with binge watching. Tonight I'm going to raise awareness about the negative side effects of binge watching to help many of you recover from this addiction and disease. So what is binge watching? Binge watching, the most destructive force to impact American culture since autotune, is the act of watching more than one episode of a particular series of television in a given week. So for example, every year Netflix releases a new season of House of Cards, and they release all 10 episodes on the same day. And this has led millions of Americans to consume 10 episodes of television in less than 2 weeks. And tonight, I would like to confess to you that yes, I was one of these people. This is my story. The summer of 2013, I began watching House of Cards, and I would watch 3 or 4 episodes in a day. I mean, I had 2 seasons to power through, and I needed to finish them as fast as possible. I would stay up until the wee hours of the night watching this show, and then when it was time to go to bed, it was all too easy to say, just one more, right? One more would turn into 2 more. But fast as I was watching it, I feared it wasn't fast enough. You see, I had developed the first negative side effect of binge watching. Spoiler paranoia. Because all 10 episodes have been released the same day, the ending could be ruined for me at any time, anywhere, by anybody. I would be walking to work, and if I heard somebody say the name of Frank Underwood, I would dart into the nearest building to avoid the conversation. I avoided Facebook at all costs so that dangerous information wasn't populating my newsfeed, and friends who watched the show, I stayed away from them the most. Because you all know how those conversations go. Oh, you watch House of Cards? You get to the part where Claire dies yet?
What?
No, I did not get to the part where Claire dies yet. Thank you. That brings us to the second negative side effect of binge watching, which is social isolation. For weeks, I became a hermit. I would lock myself in my room watching the show. I wouldn't talk to my friends for fear that they would spoil it for me. I wouldn't go on Facebook. If I was in public, I would wear my headphones so that I wouldn't overhear anything that somebody else might say. And when my other friends asked me if I wanted to go out, I was always too tired because I was sleep deprived. And I would say, no, I need to sleep. But then I would just go to my bed and watch more House of Cards. I needed to power through the season as fast as possible so that the ending wasn't ruined for me. But little did I realize that by watching the show as fast as possible, I was ruining it for myself. That's the third and the most dire consequence of binge watching, which is a marked decline in the quality of your viewing experience. See, I didn't have any time to digest what was going on, to process the episodes at all. There was no time in between to think about what had happened or how it impacted the characters or why it mattered. In fact, a couple of weeks after I finished the show, I could barely tell you what happened or who the characters were or why they were relevant. When I thought about the show afterwards, I wasn't cheering for the characters' victories or wallowing in their demise. I just felt empty. But I did get better. And you can too. You see, last June, I started watching Game of Thrones. There were 40 episodes available at my fingertips. But I said no. I will only watch 1 a week. I made a commitment to myself, and I asked some of my friends to watch it with me so that they could hold me to this commitment. And every Sunday night, we would watch it together. For 40 weeks and more, we kept to 1 episode a week. And today, we are still watching it. And this has been the most rewarding television viewing experience that I've had in my life. Every week, I would be excited to watch the next episode. I wouldn't be stressed out about it. I would be thinking about what had happened last week, and I would talk to my friends about it. And we would converse together, and this would fuel our own enjoyment and excitement for the show. Instead of feeling stressed out, paranoid, I felt excited. Instead of feeling isolated, I felt like part of a community. And instead of feeling empty, I felt a deep sense of appreciation for the show. So if you're a binge watcher, I have some recommendations for you. First, commit to one episode a week and savor that episode. Enjoy it for a whole week. You really can. When the episode ends in a cliffhanger, don't try to relieve the tension by immediately watching the next episode. Relish the suspense. Let yourself drown in the thoughts of what might happen or what could happen or what should happen. This will make it all the much more enjoyable when you come around to the next episode a week later. And that's what I want to leave you with tonight. Binge watching, it might seem like fun, but really afterwards it'll leave you feeling empty and without a decent appreciation for the show at all. In television and in life, the slow, deliberate pacing yields much more happiness. Really, any experience that's based on instant gratification is just built on a house of cards. Thank you.